That's for you, Ben Affleck. Well done. You know, speaking from somebody that's went through family members that's had drink problems, and have seen the outcomes from people that has gone through, and also suffered a loss through alcoholism. And for you to come through this, to get help, to save your marriage, to stand criticism from an early age for the pressure and everything else, well done. And I hope all this news about you finishing your rehab makes those critics or those biased people against you feel a wee bit guilty. I would rather a lot, but at least a lot. I want you to actually give Ben Affleck space now. Maybe now that you understand from a guy that has had since maybe Daredevil or GG or whatever, Gigi or whatever the film is, he's had a bad time with the press and with people just can't stand him and feel like they need to make a comment. Now here's a guy that has took it all in the chin from such a young age since Good Will Hunting. He's went on chat shows and made fun of his, him and his friend Matt Damon. They got together, and they were never took each other serious, and they stood and he's tried to make films that have stood on the time and stuff, and now, since he was cast as Batman, had to go through all this. Oh no, not him, not Ben Affleck, Batfleck or whatever. And then trying to hold down a marriage with him and his kids, and going through a divorce, and then going online and seeing all this sort of hatred and disdain, and getting to an age that he's at, 40 or so, and been given a role that he loves since he was young, being Batman, and putting his body and soul. Now you can just imagine him going home, training, exercising, building the muscles up, and then working for months on it, and putting his heart and soul in Batman v Superman, putting his heart and soul in the by night and everything else, and then directing movies, writing like Argo and stuff, and then just to go online and listen to all those haters out there, and then suffering. And believe me, I have lived in a house where close ones of me has made my life hell, and you just and you want them to get help, and they don't, and they don't think they've got a problem, and they're stressing out. Well, here's Ben Affleck dealing with it. He's dealing with writing movies, directing movies, listening to the onslaught of trolls and everything else online. And I would, if I was a drinker, I have never touched a drink of alcohol, mainly because I've seen the effects close at hand. And if I had to put up with what Ben Affleck had to put up with on a day-to-day basis, I would take a drink, and I would have to listen to either John Campbell or a comic book cast or whatever, saying, "Oh no, he's not Ben Affleck, not this or what." I mean, let's rewind a wee bit. He was best friends with Kevin Smith, who idolised the guy. Did this have something to do with it? Because Kevin Smith, I believe, misses the company of Ben Affleck. Or we will not know really what pushed him over the edge, but the fact that he dealt with all of these things and writing films and constantly getting hounded, and us as the public demanding screenshots and trailers and come on Ben Affleck, where is the Batman film? And to deal with that, and then so Batman's leaving. No. If this guy has a drinking problem and he has kids, he is going to stay as Batman as long as he can. He wants to be a hero for his kids. He wants to show his kids, that he is recuperating from the addiction. And so, and what a positive message Ben Affleck put out there. What a positive message, and he's going to work hard with his kids and with the relationship with Jennifer Garner. I mean, you've just got to put it out. And then to put it out there in a media where fake news and trolls and everything else is galore just now, and for him to brave that, to put that out there, well done. I could go on, but all I can say is I know you guys out there and girls and whatnot, that you may have somebody that might have a drinking problem or addiction problem, and you know what this person's gone through. So let's just put down these people. Let's just maybe start a petition. The Ben Affleck Admiration Club, and click off those things that you're subscribing to that is known to put them down. Let's do that. I've never been so much proud of my Ben Affleck. What else has been on the news? Oh, the director of the so-called, is it something Vaughn or whatever, has been scripted to do a Superman 2 reboot. Now, nobody said he's going to be directing Superman 2, this new director, and let's forget the word reboot. Okay, it's not a reboot. Man of Steel has already been rebooted, with Henry Cavill, so they're not going to change it. But what has happened is he will rise again and probably into a world which will now sort of respect him more and is giving them that more positive energy. Who knows, maybe he'll rise and be taken in by Darkseid. But whenever he comes out of that, he will be a changed man, and it has got nothing to do with reboot or the director. Yes, the director, again, I've totally forgot his name. I kept on saying it to myself, I remember him, and it's totally out of there. Again, Google, so on Facebook. But this guy maybe has said maybe a year or so ago that he would do Superman differently and more brighter and cheerful and everything else. Yeah, he might. That was his plan years ago. But this time, it's Zack Snyder's baby. And he cannot change the character that belongs to let's call it the Snyderverse. I don't like the Snyderverse, it actually sounds bad. But you get my drift. It belongs the Zackverse. Right? Zackverse. Right? So yeah, he cannot change the character as so much. However Superman is portrayed in Justice League, you'll need to sort of mirror that in any sort of Man of Steel film comes out. And as I say, maybe he might not do Superman. Maybe he'll go on to The Flash. If he wants something cheerful and everything else, maybe Shazam or Flash or something, because I think Wan, who directed Aquaman, got the choice of they two, and they went for their strengths, So Wan then says, wait a minute, no, Aquaman's more my thing, because I can play with the horror and the dark and the deep blue and everything else. So now we're looking for something, you know, they want to do The Flash with a wee bit more light-hearted, so maybe this director might go and do that instead. But I wouldn't pay any heed about reboot. They just seem to fling that all about. Man of Steel made great money and is well received by the public, and I've heard people change their mind after the second or third viewing, which normally happens. So that is my take on that. I just made this, and it was meant to be a wee short one, about Ben Affleck, you know, and I hope now that the public out there and the clickbait news, whatever, will give him a break, because for him to stay back, for him to still carry on being Batman with all that pressure, I've been said sometimes, maybe, you know, some people talk about anxiety. Can you imagine the pressure he must have been put under about playing that role? Would you have blamed him if he walked away because of all this stuff? So haters and people out there, just shut the beep up, okay? And let's start thinking positive. Be positive out there. Thank you very much. Let me hear your comments, and if you wish to subscribe down below. Thanks very much.